If you're planning to use San Diego's ADU home density bonus program, there's a new cost you need to know about. The city introduced a community enhancement fee calculated based on the square footage of your bonus units and combined with the program restrictions we recently covered here on this channel. And it now raises a serious question about whether the city actually wants people using this program in the first place. So, Sean, walk us through what this community enhancement fee actually is and how the city is calculating it.
Well, thanks for the introduction, Belly. Okay, so probably about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, the city of San Diego updated their municipal code, particularly the ADU regulations, and especially the regulations around the ADU home density bonus program, also known as the ADU bonus program. So, one of the major benefits of building ADUs were they were not subject to impact fees. Most people don't even know what an impact fee is. But if you are going to build a new house, you're subject to one impact fee for that house. And impact fees vary neighborhood by neighborhood. The impact fee is supposed to cover parks, it's supposed to cover fire, schools, things like that. Basically, everything your property taxes pay for, the impact fee is also supposed to supplement. Now, this was one of the major obstructions. It was the reason people weren't building the predecessor to ADUs, which was called a companion unit, because people would call me up and say, "Hey, I want to build a companion unit." And I'd say, "Okay, are you aware about the $10,000 impact fee?" And they'd say, "What do you mean $10,000 impact fee?" And I would show them how their project would be subject to that fee. And they would say, "Oh, this is going to price out the project. I don't want to do the project anymore." So when the state came in with their ADU regulations, the major change was they banned impact fees. So for a while, there were no impact fees on any ADUs. And the city of San Diego went above and beyond the state and they added the ADU home density bonus program. Now, for a while, that program was not subject to any impact fees. But recently, the city has now added these fees back in, but they just changed the name. So they're calling them community enhancement fees. So let me do a quick screen share here, and I'm going to explain how all these are applied. This is straight from Chapter 14 of the Municipal Code, and here it's listing ADU Home Density Bonus Program Community Enhancement Fee. The applicant shall pay an ADU Home Density Bonus Program Community Enhancement Fee as established by San Diego Resolution, calculated based on gross floor area of the affordable ADUs and bonus ADUs, except that the gross floor area of any affordable ADUs that meets the following shall not be included. And there's some provisions here. If you do very low income, maybe you can avoid this. And the premise is located in an area identified as high or very high fire resource California tax credit allocation, CTCAC opportunity area. I don't even know what that is. It's probably a very small scenario. Okay, so I guess to understand this, we have to understand what the impact fees are and how much they cost and which neighborhoods have to pay these. So here is our 2020 impact fee schedule. Now, these are just the impact fees in the city of San Diego, so I want to clarify this. This doesn't necessarily apply to Oceanside or Chula Vista. This is just for city of San Diego. Other municipalities are going to have their own way to calculate these fees, and they probably also do have these fees. But this is the column that's important, the per dwelling unit fee. So we can go down this list, and let me zoom in a little bit more so we can just get it a little larger on the screen. Okay, so if you were to build a home in Barrio Logan, this is basically the community that I live in, you're going to pay a fee of $18,387 per home. Now, if you were to build one in the college area, this is an area where we need more housing, you're going to pay $20,224 per home. So if you put up a 10-unit apartment complex, you're going to pay $200,000 in fees to build that apartment complex. Now, this is a combination of the fire fee, library fee, park fee, and transportation fee. Now, I will say in Barrio Logan, we have a lot of parks. They're not necessarily nice parks. Some of them are nicer than others. But that is one of the reasons why our fee is so high. You can see there's a $15,000 fee just for the park. And when you total everything up, that's where you're getting this number. So the community enhancement fee is based off of these impact fees. The way the community enhancement fee works is it's scaled to the size of the ADU you're going to build. So let me take it a step back. The state regulations still say that the by right per state ADU regulation, ADUs that you're going to build cannot be subject to this fee. But since the city of San Diego has gone beyond with the ADU home density bonus program, those are going to be the ADUs that are subject to this. So not the by right state ADU regulation ADUs, not if you're building the first detached ADU, you're not subject to this. It's when you start to use that ADU home density bonus program. Okay, but let's take a closer look at this and let's try to draw some conclusions here, because these fees could be used to supply additional fees for fire, library, park, and transportation, but they could also be used as a deterrent to deter people from using these density bonus programs. So let's take a look at which neighborhoods have the highest fees. So we've already identified Barrio Logan, the college area. Let's keep going down the list here. So Golden Hill, 17 or basically $18,000 in fees. Now, as we go down, we can see Mission Beach has a pretty low fee, so this is good. So I would say this is encouraging development. I guess the important way to understand this is generally the ADU home density bonus program is going to be used by people trying to develop to add more density, likely to rent the properties. The developer will never do these projects if they don't pencil out. And the more fees the city adds to these projects, the less likely the developer will build in these areas. So you could kind of extrapolate this data to say the higher these fees, the less likely you're going to get development to occur. And the lower these fees, like this one right here, Rancho Bernardo, well, that may be a good option for a developer. Actually, look at this one, 1900. Oh, well, this is for multiple dwelling units, so that one probably doesn't apply directly. So which of these fees are the highest? And is there a second page here? No, that's it. Okay, so we got $16,000 in Uptown. We got $14,500 in Torrey Pines, $23,000 in Tierra Santa. Now this, we did a previous podcast and we identified Tierra Santa on a difficult spot to use the ADU home density program because of the specific zoning that they have. Let's see if we could find La Jolla. Okay, so this is interesting. La Jolla, while difficult to use the ADU home density bonus program just because of the very specific atypical single-family zoning it has, the community enhancement fee would not be too high in this area. But Otay Mesa, that would be an area where it would be probably cost prohibitive to use the ADU home density bonus program. And this one in particular stands out, the college area, because this is a neighborhood where we drastically need more housing. They're actually working on a whole community plan update for this neighborhood just because it's recognized by the city as a neighborhood that needs more housing to support the colleges. Okay, so let me explain how these fees are going to apply to the community enhancement fee. If you're going to build a 1,200 square foot ADU, which is the maximum size you can build, and you're going to build that in the college area, a 1,200 square foot ADU is going to be subject to 100% of this impact fee, which is now just renamed the community enhancement fee. If you're going to build a 600 square foot ADU in the college area, which is 50% of the maximum size you can build, you're going to be subject to 50% of this community enhancement fee. If you build an 800 square foot ADU, you're going to be subject to 66% of this fee. So that is how it's applied. Most people don't realize these fees are going to impact their projects until it's too late. These fees are also the reason why you're almost always better off building an ADU than building a dwelling unit, because if you build the same 600 square foot home as a dwelling unit, you're going to be subject to the full impact fee. And if you build that 600 square foot home as an ADU, if possible, you're going to be subject to 50% of this fee. So these fees could be both used to actually enhance the community, but they could also be used as a deterrent, or inevitably they become a deterrent for people to develop in these areas. This is one of the reasons why we don't get that much development in the Barrio Logan area, because Barrio Logan is still an up-and-coming neighborhood, but fees like this basically prevent developers from building in these neighborhoods.
I think these are essential services, the fire department, parks, library, transportation. But I think there would be a better way to tax the residents and the citizens to fund these essential services, but not doing it in a way like we just discovered that clearly seems aimed as like a weapon to disincentivize development. I suppose zooming out though, taking into account what we just covered here, what are your thoughts on the current state of multi-unit development in San Diego? Because it seemed like the ADU bonus program, when it first came out, was a huge step in the right direction.
Hmm.
Then, of course, there were some, bad actors we could say that took advantage of it, in maybe ways it wasn't intended, which caused a lot of uproar. And now it seems like the city is like gradually scaling it back down.
Yeah, so I have a lot of thoughts about this. Okay, let's forget about the ADU home density bonus program for a second. If you're going to build a home, you're going to be subject to the regulations of the municipal code. You can build a great home under those regulations, and you could design something beautiful that everybody loves, but you could also design something really ugly that people hate. So the regulations are not necessarily good or bad. It's how you use the regulations. You can weaponize them, or you can use them for the greater good. Now, going back to the ADU bonus program, I do agree that this was a great step in the right direction for San Diego. Now, what I think may be happening, because the program has been walked back quite a bit, they've started to restrict it from certain wealthier neighborhoods. They've started to add fees back to it. So it's certainly going to be less effective than it was. But if I was a politician and I wanted to be pro housing, but also avoid controversy, one kind of backdoor way I can do this is I could be an advocate for the ADU bonus program, but I can start to add fees back along the way, which would basically prevent people from using the program. So I think maybe you're getting a little bit of that going on because basically the politicians in San Diego kind of speak out of both sides of their mouth. On one side, they're saying we want more housing and we're advocating for more housing and we've eliminated a lot of the hurdles or are eliminating a lot of the hurdles as we speak. But on the other side, what we're seeing is we're seeing more NIMBYism, we're seeing more roadblocks, and we're seeing more fees. And while they're saying that they're reducing regulation, we're actually seeing timelines of permitting increase. And so they're publicly saying one thing, but in reality, we're actually seeing something completely different.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. If people want to get in touch with to you about an ADU project, what would be the best way to do it? Because we've identified a lot of challenges, but probably no one is more better versed in the code than you are. So I think if anyone can get the project done on a reasonable budget, it would be you. So what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, yeah, we're very well versed in the ADU home density bonus program. We've done quite a few of these projects. We do have a 5-point system for developing what we consider pocket neighborhoods. There's actually a free guide that maybe we can make available in the show notes here. And we're not here to recommend maxing out these properties. What we're here to do is recommend smart design and design projects where we have higher density, but we maintain privacy and respect for all of the occupants of these properties and the neighbors. And we're trying to design these projects at the scale of the adjacent neighborhood. So we're trying to use the program for good. If you have a project where you're considering adding a lot of density and you want to use the ADU home density bonus program, visit our website, 1070architecture.com. Check out our Instagram. You can probably see some of these projects and you can look at the portfolio on the website. Or you can send me an email directly, which is Sean, SEAN, at 1070architecture.com.